the parts that have been the most challenging is when you're in organizations and, as humans, we don't like change. And if you think about what the top of these organizations mostly look like and traditionally look like, it's white, male, cis men. And by nature, as humans, we are attracted to and navigate towards what is like us because we're familiar with it, we feel like we know, and especially in a world like ours where you want to be seen as knowing and being knowledgeable, and if you don't know, or you're uncertain, or it's not familiar to you, then it's uncomfortable territory. And so once you understand and kind of look at it through that lens, it then becomes, how do you navigate these ladders in these rooms that don't look like you, knowing that it's harder and knowing that people get uncomfortable and they feel threatened just because it's different, and starting to really show organizations and leaders that the beauty of thought diversity is what creates innovation. If everybody who's at the decision-making table looks the same, thinks kind of similar, has similar backgrounds, there's not going to be much innovation coming out of that room. And if there's not much innovation in the quick, fast-paced world we live in now, where technology is continually evolving, how we do things is continually evolving, the one thing that hasn't evolved quickly is how we do work. And the people who are going to help make that evolution possible are the people that usually don't have the voice in the room. And it's the people who are closest to the work, because once you get into kind of those executive leadership levels, you don't realize how far removed you are from the work. Yet you think you have to have all the answers and you think you have to know everything, instead of listening to the people who are doing that work day to day, who are closest to the customers, who probably have all of the innovation ideas that you need, but they haven't been given a place for their voice to be heard, or to explore these ideas, or even the time to get them out of themselves, because work is so busy and speed is like the badge of honor, and working 80 hours a week is a badge of honor. And we came up with this system where it's like, oh, I'll sleep when I die, not realizing that if you don't sleep, that's coming quicker than you think. So really figuring out how to navigate those rooms. And I've actually been able to do that through a different type of tool, which is improv. I've been a professional improviser for a long time, and the skills that I've learned through improv have helped me navigate rooms where people like me don't usually get to be in, and navigate those tables and understand how to work in those environments and turn them from environments where people really tend to react defensively to ideas and learn to respond inclusively.
Yeah, you said so much there that I want to unpack. And so I am going to make that connection between improv and almost this, real-time navigation of maybe a tenuous environment for you or from your experience. What is it that is required, maybe often of leaders of color or folks with kind of marginalized perspective, not really represented in those boardrooms? What is required to navigate that improv helps you cultivate?
Yeah. So when you think about walking into an environment where you quickly have to kind of understand what world is there, and how to add and build to it in a great way, is one of the main things that improv has helped me be able to do. And it's interesting because when I talk to most adults about improv, and anybody who's worked in an organization that I've led or have participated in any of the workshops that I do with other organizations, you hear adults say, oh, that's so scary. I could never do improv. I don't know how you do it. And my response is always, you probably did it till you were like 8 or 9. Because if you look at children, it doesn't matter how different they are, what you look like. You put a bunch of children in a room, they're going to instantly create a world, figure out how they want to play together. Everyone's going to figure out what character they play. If someone says, oh, the sky is made out of cotton candy, they're going to be like, yes, and they're going to add their ideas. And that's not what happens in corporate America. Even if we think people are agreeing with us, how many often do we hear, yes, but? Because we have been conditioned to, as soon as we get our idea, we stop listening, and we're just waiting to get our idea on the table. Where improv teaches you to first, let's accept and embrace that idea and see how we can add and build to it before we negate it. Whether you agree with it or not, there's probably something you can come up with to add to this idea or build it or find a way to, make it creative or make it better. And so improv's main rule is yes and. And so that yes and living is what really helps you to figure out, how do I walk into this situation? How do I understand what's going on? And how do I make it better? And once you kind of master that, another kind of unwritten rule in improv is if then. So if this exists in this world, say we're on stage and the world is made up of purple water, what else would exist in a world where the water's purple? It's the same as if you walk into a meeting or an organization and you look around and you say, okay, if this is what exists in this world, what else exists in this world? And what should exist in this world? And so you start to be able to have that as a habit in how you think, which helps to build more healthier cultures, which helps to build better teamwork and collaboration, and helps you to just recognize the thought diversity amongst everyone at the table, whether you look alike or not. We all come from different experiences, and using improv as a tool, especially within organizations, it creates a safe container because we're just playing games. We're just using things that have no weight, but you get to see that thought diversity, and you get to have these beautiful aha moments of recognizing each other and how we think differently and how we all contribute differently, and then recognizing how that can then be applied to work.
You're going to have me signing up for an improv class.